Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Stacia. So, we're picking back up not too terribly long after the last episode. And of course, last episode we got Astral Sorcery to a pretty good stopping point for the time being. And the other mod that we really need to tackle before we push on into progression is Botania. Now, there is a couple other things we're going to tackle, a little bit of industrial, not this, industrial foregoing. We're going to do a little bit with this in the coming episodes, but today I'd like to start moving into a bit of Botania. And I did go ahead and I moved most of our very small, minute Botania system. Now, I haven't made a mana tablet. It requires create, which we're going to do a little bit with that before we push progression, but I did move it over to here. I set it back up, but I actually haven't ran it at all, and probably won't run it, truth be told. Because we're going to be switching power or mana generation today. And ideally, I was thinking I'd like to go with Kiki Muris, but it requires Elven Gateway to do that. So I was like, well, we're going to go with something a little bit different, and then we'll probably do a Kiki Muris setup down the road. But the very first thing that we need to do is we need to get our Runic Altar, of course. And this is actually a default craft. So there we go. There's our Runic Altar. And quest complete. Let's go ahead and we're just going to set this up here is fine. And this, of course, is just temporary, just because I don't have a mana tablet to actually move that mana at the moment. And we'll have our mana spreader feed directly into the Runic Altar. Okay, now to get our runes, there's one rune in particular I'd like to go ahead and get first, and that's the Rune of Mana. Okay, it's altered a little bit, but not too bad. We're going to need a mana diamond. We are going to need mana quartz, mana pearl, mana steel, mana powder, mana glass, mana weave cloth, mana infused string, and an imbued slate. Oh, but we have to have the alchemy catalyst to make mana steel. I think I've got everything else. Let me go ahead and just dump this stuff onto the altar. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What am I missing? Oh, the mana powder. There's that. Okay. And now, to get our alchemy catalyst, if I recall, it's just default in this pack. So, yeah, just 2 brewing stands, a mana pearl, 2 gold, and some living rock. Okay, so there is our alchemy catalyst. That's going to complete a quest for us, and if we take and we drop this down, okay, it crashed me whenever I put that underneath there for some reason, but we're going to put our alchemy catalyst right underneath the mana pool, and then toss in our steel. There's our mana steel, and we'll get that going. And this doesn't take a whole lot of mana, does it? No, it doesn't. Oh, and these are all changed. Okay, so then we're going to drop living rock, hit that, there we go. There is our Rune of Mana. Okay, now at this point, before we push on, let's go ahead, take a look at the Rosa Arcana. This is going to be 2 pink, 2 purple, and a lime petal. Okay, let's pop over to our Petal Apothecary, and we'll go ahead and toss that in. That. Oh, whoops, not the seed yet. That. And there is our Rosa Arcana. Now, of course, the Rosa Arcana is going to generate experience from, or generate mana from experience. And we are going to be setting up something that we're going to need before long anyways. And we're going to use that for our mana production for now. So what we're going to do is, right over here, I'm going to grab as many swords as I can possibly carry. And we're going to go ahead and make ourselves some iron spikes, because we're going to start getting into some mob grinding utilities today. Fun stuff. Let me get 1 more sword. There is our mob masher, which is what's going to kill our mobs, of course. Now, right over here, I have 10 looting upgrades. We're going to go ahead and take these, because we want lots of drops. And then we'll go ahead and start getting our sharpness upgrades as well, just to make this thing deal a bit more damage. There's 10 of those. We've got a mana spreader, and then we're also going to want some fans. And we're probably going to make some fan upgrades as well, which we'll delve into that in just a moment. But the Mob Masher is going to, whenever it kills things, it's going to count as a player kill, which of course Blaze Rods are player kill only drops. So it's important that we do have that. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up our Mob Masher, and it's going to require a redstone signal. I'll probably just put a block of redstone underneath it, honestly. Let me do it here. That should be good. And then we're going to open this up. We're going to drop in our sharpness and our looting upgrades. And then we are going to set up some fans. One is going to set in like right here. And let's see, that is the area at the moment. So yeah, we're going to need some size upgrades and stuff. And then let's put in a fan right here. And these will need redstone also, which we're going to get that. Fan right there. Show area. Show area. Now these are kind of perfect. I do want to increase the height on these. And I know blazes could technically get above it. But that's okay. And I wonder if, well, it knocks me back and it does massive damage. But I'll say, I wonder if I could get XP from this. But probably Spike's probably a better route for that. Though I do think I'm getting pretty close to max level. Right now I'm level 34 with Astral Perks. So let's go ahead. We're going to get ourselves, I think all of these are feathers and iron, a little bit of redstone. That's fine. Let me go ahead and grab this. Oh, I do not have fluffy puffs slotted in here. So let me just do that. So now, if we were, well, let's pop back over here. We can set it up. Oh, it's nighttime. I haven't lit this up. Let me pop over and sleep real quick. Which blazes, of course, they don't necessarily need it to be dark. In that glass, I may end up changing it to mana glass once we start building over there, or you know, kind of setting it up and organizing it for the Botania area. But since I don't know exactly what I want to do right now, it is just tempered glass. But I'm going to go ahead and light it up a little bit. Okay, so we need 3 distance. Drop those into there, and now it pushes all the way to the Mob Masher. And then I want to get 4 width. So we'll drop those in. And now I need 5. Yeah, I need 5. Really? Or no, 3 is the max. What I'll probably do is just put mob fans here and 1 over there, pushing in this direction in that case. And so we'll go distance, and we'll go with like 2 of these, I think. Yeah, that's going to cover it. And then I'll put 2 in the other. So we'll just go ahead and get another fan real quick. And myself is starting to get fluffy puffs, which is good. I'm going to go ahead, make it so she's got a bit more slots for those, because they are super useful. So we'll put that in there, drop that in there, show area. Then we'll get our 3 distance upgrades for this one. And then what we need is, we need height modifiers, like 2 for each fan. So these right here, I will need a few more fluffy puffs, that's fine. There is 3, and I think, like if I had in, well, really, I think 1 would probably catch the blaze, since it is too tall. Should catch the blaze and push it onwards. So yeah, we'll just go with that. Okay, so there we go. Now all this area is pretty well covered at this point, so let's go ahead and hide these areas. And then we're going to dig in behind these fans, and we're just going to put on levers onto the back of this, just to get these blowing. That's all but the last one here. Let me go ahead and just open this up a little bit, because we're actually going to leave out here. Though, once I may end up doing some wireless redstone to this just so I can shut off the fans. But for right now, this should be fine. Okay, so let's just break this off. And right here, we're going to put in a blaze spawner. And we're going to go ahead and drop in a couple upgrades into this. Yeah, it's already. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this with sugar. And we're going to upgrade it with a nether star. So that way it ignores the mob spawning conditions. And then, or ignores players. Then we're going to turn on this fan and we're going to pop up out of there. And leave that be. Okay, now if we take a look, we should see experience, items, all those good things down there. There goes another blaze. Phew. And I'm going to have to add some clocks to this, that's fine. And I should probably, just so I don't accidentally fall into there, we're going to put that right there. And everything's getting killed without issue. Generally, the only time that blazes will fly is if they see a player. Sometimes they will fly up, but whenever they do, they'll quickly settle back down. And so if they end up on top of the mob masher, it's not really going to matter. You know, they're going to end up settling right there next to it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over, actually right here. We have that. We're going to come in like, let's see, that's the dirt surface. That's where the mob masher's at. Okay, so right in here, we are going to put in an absorption hopper that sets right there. And so that way it can grab all the stuff that's being dropped from the mobs here. I'm going to go ahead and just put that into there for right now. Now the XP, probably what I'm going to do with the XP, yeah, I've got an idea. What we're going to do is, this is the north side. So we're going to say that the north side is going to be fluid, and then the downside will be items. That's fine. And then we can just make an ender chest line right here, just like we did with the zombies, and just have that sent over to the base, because that's going to give us lots of this stuff coming in. Okay, so now that that's in place, let's pop over and get a couple more things that we're going to need. Let's get ourselves a regular frame drawer and then a 2x2 frame drawer. And we're going to frame these out, and they're going to be living rock, living wood. I think that. There we go. And then let's pop over. Okay, so over here, I've got this laid out. My plan is for it to basically just take up 2 chunks for this little system, just because where I wanted it to sit. It kind of fell on a chunk boundary there. Let's go ahead and probably pull up some of this stuff. I tell you what, before we set these up, because I was thinking I'll set them up over here and then maybe craft the excess blaze rods and let the endo flames make mana with them. And I may do that, but let me set up the fluid first, I think, or the mana from the XP first. So what we're going to do is we're going to just make a singularity tank. This right here, I don't really need a big one. There is the jumbo ones, these right here, which are great. They're really cheap tanks if you need like a big storage. But this is honestly fine for the way we're going to have this set up, I think. Alright, so let's pop back over. And what we'll do, I think this should, I believe it should, plug straight into these fluid pipes. Yeah, it looks like it is. And then we'll go ahead and set that to extract. 50 millibuckets every tick, that's pretty good. And then what we'll do is we'll just run this up. And on the absorption hopper, let me go ahead and have it show the area that it's covering. And I think its Y area is not as big as its, yeah. So it's actually not going to cover up here. That's perfect. So let's go ahead and turn that back off. And what we're going to do is we're going to have this pump up just straight into a singularity tank. And I don't think we'll need an upgrade in this for the speed, but if we do need to add an upgrade, that's fine. I've got some made up, of course. Or do I want to bring this up? Let's bring this up like 1 block, actually. So we'll have it sitting right there. Okay, and then let me go ahead and pull up basically everything that's over here. And what we're going to do, we're going to put the mana spreader setting here, the initial mana pool setting right there. We'll have that bind over like so. Actually, we will want to put an upgrade in that in a minute, but that's fine. We'll get to that in just a second. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put just an XP tap right there. Oh, wait. Before I do that, I should probably set up the Rosa Arcana. Now, you'll notice that it's going to start just converting that straight into mana for us. Yeah, it shouldn't be too fast, really, once it's not built up. And so we have a little bit of mana in there. Now, at this point, we have to speed up the spawner, which we're going to do. But first up, I want to get these items moving. I don't know for sure if I want... Because these blaze rods, we could take these and we could craft these and turn them into blaze lamps or blaze mesh, and then that we could use it for an obsidian generator, but not really what I'm after. But what I really like to do is just use them as fuel for the endo flames. Now we should be producing enough that I could have it constantly crafting for endo flames and then still have some come out. I don't know. I'm torn. But I think once we speed this up, I think we'll be producing blazes quickly enough that it's not going to matter too much. So let's pop over. There's a couple things that I want to get at this point. First up, I would like to get 2 chunk loaders. These right here, these single chunk loaders. These are cheap enough. Oh, these make 10 at a time. I thought they made 1 at a time. Well, there's 20 single chunk loaders. And let's go ahead, and that way we can load this chunk, because I only have 25 claim chunks, so it's not a whole lot. We're going to put 1 in, say, here. Mark chunk to be force chunk loaded. Okay. And then we're going to set 1 in right here. This is actually producing pretty good mana, and it's running real slow right now. So, but these were always, Rosa Arcanas are actually quite a bit of mana, and Blazes happen to be worth a pretty good amount of XP to have it set up as our mana system. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to get a couple ender chests. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll make 3 ender chests, and then let me get some orange dye. And we'll go ahead and set these down. Let me get our diamonds. We'll go ahead and diamond lock these. And we'll just go ahead and dye these orange, orange, orange. And we'll just go ahead and grab these. And one of them, we're going to set up... actually, we could probably just put it here, because we're actually not really using all of these. Because some of these things aren't produced by the system. So we'll set it there, and then we're going to pop over, and we're going to put 1 in right there, so that all the stuff out of this can get sent down. And then let's pop over, go ahead and configure this real quick. And some of the stuff went in there just whenever I first plugged it up, so we'll just drop that. Well, actually it doesn't need to go in here, I suppose. It really just needs to go... Oh, Ironclad iron leggings of tenacity. Okay. So our blaze rods, molten cores, and everything else is already being shipped out. Okay. Now let's see, we're really not getting... We have gotten a little bit of gunpowder. We've actually gotten a little bit of raw chicken. Well, I'll tell you what, for right now, we will actually just set that down. Let's grab the molten cores, drop them into there. Grab this, because that's really the only thing that I want to store at the moment. And that way it can start sending the molten cores out, and it leaves behind just the blaze rods. Perfect. Okay, now, let me grab this. And let me grab an item pipe. That should be good. And then over here, we're going to set up our frame drawer. Probably just, I'll tell you what, we're going to put it right there, I think. Item pipe next to it. And then right up above it is going to set that. We'll go ahead and say that you can extract. And it's going to start moving blaze rods to this frame drawer. Okay. And just to help it get cleared out, I'll go ahead and grab these. Okay. So now our ender chest is, our items and our XP are completely taken care of from this. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we are going to upgrade the spawner speed by quite a bit. First up, we are going to be making... gold clocks. We're going to make some fermented spider eyes. Max nearby entities isn't really that important. We do want the spawn count up though. And then probably go ahead and drop in some redstone control, because I do think we're going to go ahead and add in some redstone control for this. So clocks, fermented spider eyes, and redstone comparators is what we want. Or one redstone comparator, I should say. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop on down. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And we're going to add in that, because we will end up using that. Not just yet. I was looking... I've got to figure out what I want to go with for that. But, honestly, we might go with cyclic. But to do that, we'll have to get in solidification, which really isn't that expensive, but I'm not sure. Or we could, Corporea would be good for controlling the redstone too, actually, with this. That might be the route that we take, because then we can do it all wirelessly, super easily, and we can just have Corporea handle all of this for us. And then let's go ahead, and I think, actually... Now it needs a redstone signal to turn on the spawner. That's fine. And then we're going to go ahead and drop in some clocks. There's 10 of those. Not quite capped, but gold's still a little bit costly at the moment. And then we're going to drop in some fermented spider eyes. There we go. And then let's pop over and get ourselves a lever real quick. And so for right now, we'll just put that on, hit that with some redstone, and let that start spawning. Really, I could leave this open. There's no way they're going to escape this, but we'll go ahead and turn that fan on. And now we should see it spawning quite a bit faster and sending the blazes in. Actually, probably making quite a few, yeah, a lot of blazes going in at a time. We could do it with some more clocks, I guess, but even still, that should be fine for us for now. If we take a look, this has actually built up a decent amount of mana so far. Not a ton, but it's going to be kind of a passive system for us. Now what I want to do is I want to set up mana storage. Since we're on a server, it would be more beneficial to us to have dense storage for the mana, and that way we just have tons of it after it runs for a minute. So this is probably, I want to see how this is doing on speed also. Yeah, it looks like it's keeping up all right. Yeah, because that mana comes in. Yeah, not bad. Okay, yeah, I think it's actually going to be producing mana pretty decently fast for us. Now let's set up some mana storage. So what I want to do is I just want to make a fair amount of pools. I'm going to need more living rock though. Give me just a second. Let me get some more living rock made real quick. I swear the sylph just takes care of me. I love it. The sylph's great. The rest of the stuff, like the Wixie, it's kind of meh, but that's okay. We need to get a cobble gen set up before long so we have automatic gravel and sand, and that way we can just go ahead and automate living rock. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves like 6, 8 mana pools for now. Yeah, 8 will be good. Maybe 10. Let's see, I think we need elven. Yeah, we're going to need pixie dust for that. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let me get this. Let me go make some mana steel. From this mana. There we go. And let's go ahead and get ourselves 2 mana splitters. So there's 2 of those. And then let's get, which we'll probably change this up a bit once we have sparks and do it with the dispersive sparks. But for right now, this will be good. Let's do it. Well, let's have a mana spreader setting here, a mana spreader setting here. We'll have it come out to about right here and here. Or actually, no. Stop just a moment. Yeah. Let's do there. I know I wasted a little bit of mana. I don't really care. Like that. Yeah. This will work out for us better. And then we'll go ahead and send that over like so. And then let me just go ahead and get a few more spreaders. Okay, so there's 8 more. That should be fine. We have to use these to upgrade, right? No, we do not. So once we get up to the elven spreader, which will be like next episode, oh, we can make these a whole lot easier, in fact. Okay, so what we're going to do, let me get, so I've got 6, yeah, let me get a couple more mana pools. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a mana spreader here, and a mana spreader here, and then right above these, we're going to put in mana splitters. And then coming off of these, we're going to put in mana pools. Like that. So that way that one can split across 4 mana pools. And I think the way I have in mind to decorate this out, I think this is going to work out great. And look just fine. I know it's kind of weird right now, but I think it'll work out once this is done. And then let's go ahead, let's get ourselves just 2 more mana pools. And then we'll go ahead, set that up, and then just connect up our, it was shooting over to there. Connect that up, and so that way it can split between these pools. So that way we've got basically 8 pools here, 2 pools, and then this pool. So a total of 11 pools right now. I don't think there's any like upgraded pools in this pack. No, just the default stuff. So then this can start building up, and then before too long, we're not going to do it this episode, because to do it I want to use the crafty crate for it, but we're actually going to craft these blaze rods into blaze lamps, or blaze mesh, I guess is the name of it now. Blaze mesh, and then use that for endo flames. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and put in just some void upgrades in for the molten cores and for the blaze rods. And I may put some storage upgrades in here, but that's not quite as important at the moment, but we'll go ahead and drop that in there. Okay, so how are we doing on mana? We're doing all right. And my plan is we're actually going to have Natura pylons here and here on these back ones. And then we'll have our Elven Gateway portal over on this side. Have it accessible via the back, I think. So you can come around is kind of what I'm thinking. What we're going to do, we're going to let this build up. Because I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode. So we're going to let this mana just kind of build up so we have access to it for next episode. The next episode, we can push on. I don't really see any reason that we won't be able to push on up through this stuff. Gaia Spirit Ingot, yeah, I don't see any real reason we couldn't get that. I don't know, is it used in Solar Panel 7s and Ultimate Ingots? Okay, so it's actually not really used in much of anything. I don't know about Dice of Fate. Are these? No, they're not used in anything. Gaia Spirits. I know we'll have to kill the Gaia. And I think Gaia Spirits are used in a couple things, but the big thing we're really after right now, honestly, is Elementium. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really seeing much of anything here. So, really, it's just the Elementium that we'll be after. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and push progression out a bit next episode and kind of get Botania to a good spot. Of course, not finish every single quest that's up here, but get Botania to a good position. And then we'll kind of finish off with a little bit of Create and a little bit of Industrial Foregoing before then being able to push into Mechanism and some tech that's going to make our lives just a whole lot easier within this pack. So, in terms of just automation and things like that. Solar panels and stuff. I did craft a few more solar panels. I'm not sure if you can tell from the... it's not many, but I did craft a few more. I got like a second row here, basically. But I do have a lot of hardened glass made because I'm about to make a bunch more solar panels. But yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.